Welcome to TARTLEcast with your hosts Alexander McKegg and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path.
Hello. Welcome to TARTLEcast. Specific shout out to the buyers of data.
Buyers of data.
What we have found is that, our buyers come from all different types of markets, but there's common themes between all of their questions.
Yes.
So what we want to do is run almost like an FAQ series for the buyers, so we can have these things answered. Because we know, if one person had that question, somebody else has got to have it.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Right? And so we got a couple of highlights here, and I'll have Jason kind of tee us off so we can discuss this.
Well, Mr. Alexander McKegg, I want to make sure that we're being accurate with our information. So I know you have put together a document that is only expressly shared with the permission of Tartle PPC.
That's correct. Yes. Thank you.
So we're giving the latest and greatest. This is hot off the press.
Yeah, this is legitimately hot off the press.
This is information you're not going to get from any other company that would not be as transparent as Tartle.
Right. That the information, we share through this FAQ series is information you would get if you were sitting down talking to us one-on-one.
Yes. Yeah. And in the privacy and the comfort of all phones off.
Yeah.
Put in we usually, when we talk to people, we make them put their phones in a sealed Ziploc bag and a mayonnaise jar.
Yeah, and we'll trade you. Here's a donut if you put that away.
And a nice cup of coffee.
Donuts
sound nice. Now, you need a vegan donut.
I know. I got to go over to that shop over here and get some.
The boys.
Yeah, the boys.
So, data recruitment lifecycle, ultimately leading to a completed buyer-seller transaction.
Yeah. So this is interesting. So people are like, okay, hey, Tartle, say we have a specific subset or subset of a demographic that we would like to target. And maybe they're not on your system. What does it look like in terms of time,
right,
to actually bring those people on board, convert them to a Tartle user, and then get them to fill out a data packet that we as this company want data for, and then have them sell it. So that's what they're looking at for the life cycle. And then once the person has converted, now they're a lifetime user. Now let's just repeat off the data purchasing.
Right. Yeah. So they would purchase data again if they had, specific questions or something that they're wanting.
So here's what we've seen for very specific target demographics. Okay. We have 2 7-day timelines, and they're broken down. Okay, and so can you actually discuss the 7?
Yeah. The marketing effort required to build a specific subset of people within the United States takes 7 to 15 days to convert them to a Tartle user. And then marketing algorithms need this time to understand the touch points of the user to lead them to conversion.
Yeah.
So closer to 30 days, this becomes more efficient and effective for dialing in the ROI.
Yeah.
Because that's what we look at. It's like, obviously, if you're purchasing data from us, we want to make sure that we're being cost effective.
Yeah.
We don't want to have you sit there and, us. It's a very hands-on system. It's not, because, and maybe you could speak to this, the trustworthy of people purchasing data and how they've got burned before by buying data from these other companies.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that up. So a lot of third-party providers, a good body of them acquire their data illegitimately or do some around the house testing, black hat testing to kind of scrape this info off the internet. And a lot of that data that you can buy from third-party people also comes with trackers inside of it. So they know every time you're touching it. It's like, it's called when you're on the internet, Google does a good job with this. If you ever see a question mark in your URL browser, up there in the thing, www.com/this/UTM. It's called an urchin tracking monitor. So it's this little cookie thing that watches everything you're doing across the web. So a lot of these third-party guys kind of pump stuff like that into their data, deep inside of it. So they know when you're tooling around with it. They also know if it's been acquired illegitimately,
right,
or it's used in a sense that it's not supposed to be used. So when you're coming here to purchase data from Tartle, we make sure that any sort of tracker like that is screened out of the system. When you're purchasing something, you own it as a buyer.
Yes.
It's all yours.
Right.
You can choose to copy it, enhance it, do whatever you want to do with it. Put into some sort of algorithm, change your business intelligence, elevate the data set you already have. That's all possible. Because now when someone, if you hand me money, I'm going to give you the asset back. Like the cup of coffee or the donuts we talked about. If I pay money for it, $1, okay, then you give this to me. You keep that $1, I keep this asset. That's it. I can choose to pour the coffee out on the ground, right, or pour it down my throat.
Right.
That's my choice at that point. So, that when you go to buy that data, it's coming with a really, really high quality, backing that comes behind it. There's a lot of technology involved to making sure that we're delivering the highest value to you for that asset that you're purchasing.
Yeah, and so once, a user has converted to the platform, what is can you kind of go into bid cycles?
Yeah, so the bid cycle is interesting. We wanted to make sure that the system was naturally asynchronous, where it's like not everybody's forced to do something all together at the same exact time. Things can all work independently.
Right.
Buyers work at independent times. We're a global company. So bids are always moving when, the person feels they need to move. So a bid cycle for TARTLE. So say there's a data packet, there's information that I as a buyer want to purchase from this demographic of people. What happens is, as they've filled this information out, it becomes published to the marketplace. It's like I'm going to list something on eBay, and you just park it there as the owner of it. I'm parking this vase or this piece of artwork. Then the buyer comes in and it's like, okay, I see that there are 10,000 people that have an availability of this information. I want to institute a bid for 10,000 pieces of that data. So I am going to put in the bid price, so how much I'm going to pay each individual person for that one piece of information. After that gets instituted, there's 24 hours for all those sellers to accept that bid and then lock that in for you. So that means then at the end of this 24-hour cycle, either I collect the full 10,000 or maybe only 80% of the people responded to that bid. I'm only going to pay for whatever responded to it. Okay, so you'll find that the money is going to almost sit in a pseudo escrow, holding it up for a second because we don't want you to overspend and then other people can't get paid, right? So we want to make sure that the system's legitimate, especially in the financial aspect. And so at the end of that 24 hours, the system assimilates all of that data from each individual person and packages it very nicely for you in some sort of XML or CSV file that is beneficial for your own machine learning and ingestion.
And then, it's available. Where's it available to download from?
It's right there on the portal.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see separate tabs.
Right.
Okay. You'll see
There's a buyer terminal.
there's a whole. It's like a lot of buyers. Everybody knows it's like they'll buy a stock,
Right.
or what stock trading systems look like. It has that same feel. I get on the left-hand pane, search through all the different markets and types of data, whatever it might be. If it's not there, I can create it. That's a side story. But once it is there, I'm like, oh, fantastic. I can buy it. And then after I've done that, you'll have a whole nother tab at the top that shows you all the active bidding you have going on. And then you'll have another one for all your closed bids. And within those closed bids, you're going to click on it and you can download the file immediately right there with all the information in it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, typical data recruitment lifecycle, ultimately leading to a completed buyer-seller transaction.
Yeah.
So
So
we've explained that.
Yeah, so and I just want to rehash. So it's better to push towards 30 days if if you're acquiring those people to be efficient, because the algorithms are beneficial and you can acquire more of that demographic that you want. And then you just add 24 hours on top of that after they filled out that data packet for your bid purchasing.
Yeah, so that makes it simple. Hopefully everyone understands that. If you are a buyer of data, it's very simple to log in and purchase data. How simple is it?
Let's talk about how easy that is. So you're going to go and get started at tartle.co, and you're going to say, I am a buyer.
There's a big button on the right side.
Yeah, there's a big button. And
Seller, buyer.
Yeah, and you're just going to put in a couple pieces of information, and then we're going to create you an account real quick. You can tool around. You can create your data package. You can search for what's available, kind of get a feel for the market and the system. And you only have to pay for something when you need that information. We have zero barrier to entry for you as a buyer to come on and use the system and see what's available. Why would we prevent that? Why would we make you pay up front to see what plethora of information across the globe is available? Isn't that more enticing to you to know that you can solve your problems and see where the answers sit and then be like,
Yes.
I want to buy those answers? That seems like a more beneficial thing, saying, we need you to subscribe to us. And then after you've done that, you got to pay on top to get, whatever subscription model, which I think is pretty lame. But it's just one and done. If I want to buy 10 stocks, 1,000, 10,000,
Right.
I can do that as much as I choose when I choose to do it.
Yeah, so it's so magazine driven, like the 1990s. Remember?
Ew.
That? Yeah, I know. glossy and all.
Yeah. Like these like subscription models are like strange. You know what it reminds like
I like the monthly little boxes. I get a coffee one and it has different roasters, from around the United States.
No, that's cool.
Those are cool. That's kind of a subscription model. But this whole, you're going to get a subscription model to purchase people's information.
Yeah, like the whole software as a service subscription model is just like, first of all, a lot of them are a ripoff.
Yes.
They're charging way too much.
Too much.
Yeah. Listen, we're handling our own architecture here. Okay. We just are trying to give you a tool that's beneficial to you as a business just as much as it's beneficial to the sellers on the system.
Yeah. We just want to remove everything that's not David.
Yeah. 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 That's a good Michelangelo quote. Really strikes me home every time. Cool deal.
That's why I like throwing it out there.
No, that was really good.
Any other questions? Please don't hesitate to go on our YouTube channel. We're going to have a ton of these for any of you that want to purchase data.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to TARTLEcast with your hosts Alexander McKegg and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path. What's your data worth?